shared.
Yeah.
And then, so I'll go through that, and then, I'll go through a few other things that I've been kind of like working on. That's one of them is called break-even conversion rate, which I'm like super excited to share. It's something like not a lot of people are tracking. But yeah, I'm ready to go whenever you are.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, yeah. So everyone, we're going to, we'll hand it off. I know some more people are joining. Some people are going to be watching on some different platforms. We are recording this, but there's nothing like taking in the knowledge live and capturing it. Encourage you guys to write down some notes. You know, you can, sometimes I take the phone and just snap a shot of something that looks good, just like you're at an in-person event, but just try to make it as usable for you. So you don't have like, 20 million photos that you never look at, but just actually make use of the information. Mina, I think I knew of you before, but it was kind of, I think when I was speaking or both at the Rise event, I think with Demo is one of the times where I felt like I got to know you a little bit more there. And then, I've watched Mina speak and just followed kind of his approach in the space. And I was sharing with some of you guys before Mina came on that, I think Mina has like there's definitely a lot of people that do PPC in the industry, but I think Mina has kind of really forward-looking thought to it. He brings like a lot of energy and creativity to it, which I think kind of differentiates him and his team from what they do. So I'm excited. Nina, I definitely appreciate myself. I know Joey actually just landed. I think she's going to try to listen in here as well too. But yeah, I'm going to hand it over to you and let you run with it. And guys, I've got the chat here too. If you guys have questions, obviously at the end in terms of, how to get in contact with Mina and anything else, I'm sure Mina will share that throughout as well too. I see Matt Atkins is on here as well too. Matt, I'll pop you up to the panelists as well too. But yeah, Mina, I'll hand it over to you. I'm really excited for this. And yeah, guys, don't be afraid to ask questions. I'll keep an eye in the chat for everyone. But with that, Mina, take it away.
Sure. Perfect. Yeah. Like Jamie said, guys, definitely feel free to ask questions during the presentation. There's no need to wait till the end. If there's, if we're on a topic, I'll answer the question during that topic versus waiting till the end. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a background on what we're going to talk about today. So main takeaways, right? I want to cover the goals of PPC strategy, the paid conversion equation. So this is something I don't see a lot of people tracking. So I want to kind of break down PPC. So it's not just like PPC is one thing that's all stuck together, but it's basically a bunch of pieces that are all connected. And if I explain each piece of it, then you start identifying where the issues are, and it's easier for you to figure out what's broken, what's not broken. Metrics that matter. So I'm going to show you the dashboard and how I use it. How to gain the full visibility on your PPC, which ties into the analytics sheet. And then mechanics of PPC and optimization workflow is more of like talking about if I'm scaling, what are the things that I'm doing? If I'm optimizing, what are the things that I'm doing? And the actual actions. So like you'll see, like I go into here and I kind of show you what are all the different things that I do. So let's jump in. First of all, let's align on the goal of PPC. So the goal of PPC for me is driving traffic as cheap as possible and improving organic ranking to drive free traffic. And this is my definition for it. And the reason I like to always align on the goal of PPC is so when we're talking about things, you understand where I'm coming from. So, for me as a brand or an agency, whatever, when I'm running ads to a product, my goal is to bring people to that listing in the cheapest way possible. And so what is the minimum amount of money I can spend to bring the maximum amount of people to that listing? And that's broken up into two pieces. First piece is I'm sharing, right? Or no?
You're not sharing yet. No. Is it allowing you to share? Sometimes it has to, sometimes it acts funny too, right? Oh, there you go. All good.
Wow.
Actually, one second here too.
I thought I was already sharing. Okay, cool. Here we are. Now it's good.
Yep. Go ahead.
Cool. So anyways, I didn't cover much, right? I was just telling you what's going to happen. But yeah, let's align on the goal of PPC, right? So it's driving traffic as cheap as possible, to your listing, which is basically being as tight as possible with your PPC. driving people to the listing by spending the least amount of money. So having very tight, like spending, bidding, all of that kind of stuff, which I'll cover in actual technical detail. And then improving organic rank, which drives free traffic. So this is the second part of improving your cost of your traffic. Is if you're bringing people into the listing for free, your cost is going to go down. So that's kind of the goal for me. The goal is not to make money or convert on ads, because that is a different part of the equation that has to do with your conversion. And so the first thing is we need to completely separate the two. So PPC and sales are not connected. PPC simply brings people to the listing, and then once they're at your listing, they convert. Of course, the quality of the traffic can have a certain effect on the conversion, but when we look at conversion as a blended rate, we're also looking at just, how much is the traffic costing me? Am I spending money and not generating sales? And am I killing those keywords? Do I have keywords that have a really good ROAS? Am I spending more money on them? So that's kind of the goal that I follow. Now, traffic and conversion equation, it's very simple. We're bringing people to the listing through PPC. We're not guaranteed that they're going to convert. So that the sales and the revenue and all of that stuff and the PPC sales, all of that is fully dependent on the conversion part of the equation. So when we're running ads, we want to be really focused on traffic, impressions, and cost, sessions and cost per session. So those are metrics that, identify, hey, people are coming to the listing. My PPC is working. So if I'm launching campaigns and I'm looking at my impressions are going up. So okay, the PPCs campaigns are working. Impressions are going up. What about sessions? Yeah, sessions are going up. There's more and more people coming in, clicking to the listing. Great, that's good. What about my cost per session? That cost per session is going down. That's great. That means I'm becoming more efficient with my ads. For the same amount of money, I'm sending more people to the listing. So all of that is the PPC. And then the sales and revenue and ROAS and all of that stuff is fully dependent on conversion rate. So you have to look at them separately, or at least for me, this is what I found has brought me a lot of clarity. So, we go to the equation, which I think is cost of traffic times the conversion rate times the uniqueness of that traffic, and I'll discuss that in a second, is going to be the profit. And so we're bringing traffic to the listing, and let's say that traffic is costing us $1. So this is how you would do this calculation. You look at your PPC spend in the last 30 days. So in the last 30 days, you spent $100. You look at the number of sessions you've had in the last 30 days. You've had 100 sessions. So it costs you about $1 per session. So it costs you $1 to bring one person to the listing. Then you look at your conversion rate. And if your conversion rate is 10%, it means that you need to bring 10 people to the listing to make one sale. So if you need to bring 10 people to the listing to make one sale, and each session costs you $1, that's a $10 cost per acquisition. So how much profit per unit do you have? Do you have before ads? If your sale price is $30, your Amazon fees is $10, your cost of goods is $10, you're left with $10 in profit. And if your cost of acquisition is $10, then you're left with nothing in profit. And so you have to fix that cost per acquisition in one of two ways. So this is why I kind of break them up into the first way to fix your cost of acquisition, to drop it, is to lower your cost of traffic. And this is either improve your organic rank or audit your PPC campaigns. If keywords are spending money and not generating sales, lower the bids or add them as negatives if it's an auto broader phrase. Keywords that are doing well, increase the bids. If you're doing well at top of search, increase the bid by placement there. If you're not doing well and you have a bid by placement, lower, things like that. And then the other half of it is the conversion, which is obviously, if your conversion rate went from 10 to 20%, your cost of acquisition will go to $5 and you'd be making $5 profit per unit. And then you can look at unique clicks. Now, this is something that not a lot of people pay attention to, but a lot of people will very quickly recommend sponsor brand and all of these things. The problem with sponsor brand and sponsor display and some of the things that I see is what you can do is you can launch a sponsor brand campaign and have a sponsor product ad. And if you have a headline search ad, a sponsor product ad, and a video ad, it could be the same person clicking on all three, charging you multiple times, and you ending up basically paying more for that same session. which is going to hurt your cost of traffic. And so this is something that I want everyone to pay attention to. If you're running sponsor brand and you're high on the sponsor brand and the sponsored product, test lowering or turning off your sponsored brand. And see what happens to your spending and see what happens to your total sales. And if you notice that your spend goes down and your total sales are not affected, that could be that sponsored brand ad was not driving enough traffic, enough unique traffic, so it wasn't worth it. Maybe you lose $100 in ad spend, but you also lose $100 in sales, which means that sponsored brand campaign was generating a 1x ROAS, which is not great. So that's kind of the equation that I like to follow. I see I have some questions here, so I want to open up. Where's the chat?
Yeah, some of it's just chat. I don't think there's I think you're still good, Mina, for now.
Oh, okay.
But I'll keep an eye on it.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Yeah, just let me know, Jamie, if there's any question. Cool. So let's keep going. So what does the equation look like? So this is kind of if we're looking like layer by layer, you have a certain amount, you're launching campaigns, you're going to get a certain number of impressions, and then you're going to spend a certain amount of money, and out of that there's obviously going to be a click-through rate. So you're based on your impressions to clicks, there's a click-through rate there. So there's a certain number of clicks, certain number of sessions, which is the unique Amazon accounts that have visited your listing based on these clicks. There's going to be a certain conversion rate, and out of the people who are coming into the listing and the conversion rate, there's going to be a certain number of sales, and you're going to get a total dollar in sales and a cost per session. Now, there's a few things we can look at here to improve our sales. The first thing you can look at is, let's look at it this way. You're launching campaigns, you're getting impressions. Great. So when you launch campaigns, you see your impressions are going up. That's a good sign that you're doing the right thing. Now, out of those impressions, what percentage of them are turning into clicks? That's your click-through rate. Now, if you notice that you're trying to scale your Amazon PPC and it's not scaling, you're launching campaigns, whatever, but it's constantly costing you more money, or you're just launching campaigns and you don't see the traction, it could be that your click-through rate is a little bit too low. So if your click-through rate is maybe sub 0.2%, what you could do is you can test improving your main image, your reviews, your price. Those are the main factors that are going to affect your conversion, your click-through rate. And then, so we said main image, reviews, and pricing. Yeah, those are the main three. And if you have a Prime badge, obviously that's a huge one. So if you're FBM or anything like that, you'll notice a big impact there. And you can notice what happens to the click-through rate, because it could be for the same impressions, the same campaigns, everything is the same. You change your main image, it's a lot catchier, it's a lot more beautiful, it fills out the space, it doesn't have any white space. And now you're getting significantly higher click-through rate and a lot more clicks and sessions for the exact same campaign structure. And then let's take it a step further. Now we have a certain number of clicks and a certain number of sessions that are going to take place from those, from launching those campaigns. If we notice that our clicks to sessions ratio is off, and how can you tell? So a 1-to-1 ratio is perfect, right? Very, very, very hard to hit a 1-to-1 ratio, because that means that there's no one that's going to ever click on your PPC ad and on your like organic or whatever, or click on two PPC. So if someone types in electrolyte powder, clicks on you, and then types in unflavored electrolyte powder, sees you again, clicks on you, that's now 2 clicks for 1 session. So when I notice that I have a discrepancy, like further and further away from that 1 ratio, I'll start trying to audit. Where do I have very high organic rank, and where do I have very high sponsored rank, or where do I have sponsored rank and sponsored brand campaigns, headline search ads, and videos? I like to start with the videos, and I'll taper those down. And then I like to start with the headline search ads, and I'll taper those down, and I'll monitor the drop in the ad spend versus the drop in the sales. If it's a big drop, if I lose $100 in ad spend, but I also lose $300, $400 in sales, then I did the wrong thing. And I'm going to show you my analytics tracking sheet where you can see that movement and you can track it, and you can put comments and say, we did this, we dropped the sponsor brand, and now we see the result is we lost a lot of sales because of it. So that's the next layer of things you can do. And then after that, you have a conversion rate. And so obviously based on that conversion rate, you're going to generate a number of sales. And that is another factor that can be improved. And all of this plays part in the PPC equation. So if you're looking at PPC just on campaign manager, it's really not even 25% of the equation. Campaign manager is one thing. It's just launching the ads and looking at, you know, some of the results and auditing it. But then there's all of these other layers with like click-through rate, the clicks to sessions ratio, conversion rate. So in this case, if we improve the click-through rate, if we improve the conversion rate from 20% to 30%, you see a big increase in the sales. If we improve the click-through rate from 0.2 to 0.4, you see a big improvement in the, or so let's go this way, right? From here to here, 0.2 to 0.4, we go from $4,000 to $8,000 in sales. And this is, again, the same number of impressions, same campaign, same everything. You're just now getting a better click-through rate. You'll probably spend a little bit more money on your ads, but again, sales are going to improve a lot because you're getting a lot more people into the listing. And then conversion rate going from 20 to 30%, again, further improvement in your sales. Now, when your spend was 8 and your sales were 4, that was a 0.5x ROAS, or basically a 200% ACOS. Now here you're at a 100% ACOS. Now here you're at a 75% ACOS. So we haven't even touched PPC and we improved the ACOS. And then here, you know, getting more impressions for the same ad spend. And this can be done, you know, by scaling the keywords that perform better. Your sales will also improve. So there's a lot of things that you can do, you know, outside of PPC that are going to affect your PPC. So what are the main influencing factors of PPC? All right, the main things that we want to look at. So PPC spend, this is the main factors in affecting the cost of traffic. So PPC spend, which is the cost of acquiring traffic, click to sessions ratio, which is how efficient your traffic is, and your organic rank, which is no cost traffic. So those three things are going to play a huge role in how much you're paying for the advertising. So if you can drop your PPC spend and maintain the same amount of sessions, you're going to improve your cost per session. If you can eliminate clicks and drop your PPC spend, again, for the same amount of sessions, because some of those ads were not generating any additional sessions or any additional unique sessions, then you're going to drop your cost of traffic. And then finally, if you improve your organic rank, you're going to also drop your cost of traffic because you're getting more sessions for free. And I really want to touch on this because a lot of times people, you know, we take them on, we start scaling and they're like, oh, ROAS is bad, whatever. And we bring them back down. And we never take advantage of the fact that an increased sales velocity and more sales will result in a higher rank, organic rank. And when we maintain that for like about a month, our organic rank stays up there. We get more organic sales. We can cut down on the ads. And now the organic sales are helping us make more money. And our ROAS is a lot better than what it used to be. But you have to go through that period. And I'll discuss that period in a bit. So what are some of the metrics that I track? Spend, click-through rate, sessions, cost per session, conversion rate, profit. I'm not going to cover it too much right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my sheet with you guys, which is a template. It's a free template. You can download it and fill it out yourself. And I'll show you if you want to get it automated too, how to do that. So the key metrics, right, that I'm talking about, cost per session is PPC spend divided by the total number of sessions. Pretty simple here. This is how much money I spent. This is the unique number of Amazon accounts that came into the product listing over the same period of time. Now, 1 divided by my unit session percentage is the number of sessions to make one conversion. Again, pretty simple. If you have a 50% conversion rate, every 2 people, 1 of them converts. So when you multiply the 2, the cost per session times the number of sessions for 1 conversion is the cost per acquisition. Again, very important metric to understand because that number, your total profit per unit before advertising minus that number is going to be your net profit. And so to minimize that number, you need to drop this number and drop that number, which means increase this number. Okay, so the equation's right there. Now, this is what my analytics template looks like. Let me move this up here. Perfect. One thing I can do is do this so it's easier to see. All right, here we go. And so the reason I have this set up, now this is obviously automated now, but I'm sharing the manual version with you guys, so it's easy for you to see. The reason I do it like this is so you can track what's happening week over week over week. Actually, what I'll do an easier one, right? I'll just show you the template right now. Perfect. So this way I can go week over week over week and track what's happening, track the movements. I'm tracking PPC spend, so I can see, am I increasing spend or decreasing spend? And I should have control of what's going on. It shouldn't be, what's going to happen tomorrow with my PPC. It should be more like, for the next 3 weeks, I'm increasing my ad spend over time because I want to bring more people into the listing. And I want to make sure that, I'm not overspending. PPC sales is good to track. I don't think it's that accurate, so I don't dwell on PPC sales. I look at total sales. Total sales is the total number of sales coming from everything. We already know that PPC spend affects organic sales, and if you don't think so, what you can do is you can take your main keyword and spend a lot of money unprofitably on it, and then look at what happens to your organic sales, and then turn off that keyword, and then look at what happens to your organic sales. And you'll notice that as this one keyword, this one high search volume keyword, you increase and decrease the spend, your organic sales goes up and down with all other factors remaining the same, which leads us to believe that there's something going on here. It's either that when you spend more money on PPC, your organic rank goes up, so you get more organic sales, or that Amazon is missing attribution and it's saying, oh, you made like $300 in PPC sales when it's actually $800, and they just didn't account for it. Who knows? But when I track total sales, I'm good. I'm covered on all bases. And this is not a competition. The PPC generate or organic generate, it doesn't matter. I just want to make more money. Units, I'm tracking units to make sure, I'm improving my sales velocity, or when I'm optimizing, I'm not dropping too much. Sessions, this is a very, very important metric that I'm tracking, is the number of unique Amazon accounts coming into the listing. And so as PPC spend goes up, I'm looking at it week over week. I'm also looking that my sessions week over week are improving. And if they're not, then I'm wondering, why am I spending more money on the advertising, but my sessions, my number of people coming into the listing isn't increasing? Does that mean that I'm increasing bids and increasing budgets, all this stuff, and overspending on the same keywords? So that's something to worry about. Or is it that I'm increasing my PPC spend and my organic ranking is going down, and so I'm keeping the same amount of sessions but spending more money? And we've seen that happen sometimes, and it happens a lot in seasonal products where I increase the PPC spend. I notice that sessions are barely moving, but my cost is going up. So why is my cost going up but my sessions remaining the same? Well, I'm losing organic ranking because it's seasonally not good. And we look at the competitors, all of them have a downward trend in sales, and we're like, okay, got it. We understand what's going on here. Cost per session, or cost of sessions, is how much the traffic costs. And this is basically your PPC spend divided by your number of sessions and how much you're paying for each person to come into the listing. Conversion rate, self-explanatory. Click-through rate, again, this is an important metric that I like to track. And if I'm putting effort week over week, I'm saying, okay, I'm going to try and test my main image. I'm looking to see, okay, if I made my main image more catchy, did my click-through rate go up? And if it did, great. I catch that. I know that this is something that I should implement and keep. If it didn't, or if it went down, I also can catch that and say, okay, let's revert it back to the old one. CPCs are good to measure. Reason is, if I notice that my cost per click over time is climbing, it could be a warning sign that we're overspending. ACOS, again, ACOS is PPC spend divided by PPC sales, but since I think PPC sales is not accurate, I don't dwell on that. TACOS, it's just another percentage. I, again, don't dwell too much on it, but it's good to see that, hey, I have a 35% profit margin. My TACOS is 15%. We're good. But I could be making more money at a 18% TACOS than at a 12% TACOS, just because I have a much higher sales velocity. So that's something to keep in mind, that this is just a percentage, but here's the main metric, which is profit, dollar amount in profit. So this is the main metric that I like to track. It's my sale price minus my Amazon fees minus my cost of goods. That's my total profit per unit, times the number of units sold minus PPC spend. So if I have a $20 product, $5 in Amazon fees, $5 in cost of goods, I'm left with $10 in profit per unit. If I sold 10 units that day, I made $100 in profit, spent $30 on PPC. So minus 30, that's $70 in profit. That's the way I calculate profit. This is front end, before returns, reimbursements, all of this kind of stuff. And this is my North Star, right? When I'm scaling, I'm expecting that profit's going to go down because I'm not going to be efficient with my ads. So what's going to happen is PPC spend is going to go up. I hope that sessions are going to go up, right? So I'm spending more money, more people are coming into the listing. And if unit session percentage stays the same or dips down a little bit, we should be fine. Our sales should go up. However, because we're not efficient, we're scaling. And what I mean by scaling is we're launching new campaigns, we're testing different keywords, we're increasing bids, all of these things. Some of the actions are not going to be good actions, and we're going to end up spending money not generating enough sales from those specific keywords, which is going to eat into our profits. But that's fine because we're scaling. And as we scale, our revenue goes up, we discover keywords that are profitable, our organic rank goes up. All of these, positive things happen. So what I'm looking for is week over week over week, let's say 3 or 4 weeks in a row, I've scaled. I don't want to do it too fast. I want to do it gradual. If I do it too fast, I might burn too much money. So it's a small gradual increase in spend. Let's say 100, I spent $1,000 this week, then, 1,500 the next week, then 2,000 the week after. And then I would hold that for like a couple more weeks. And now I've operated in a scaling phase for a few weeks. I'm noticing now, how is my, sessions looking? How is my cost per session looking? Is my cost per session going up too much? Or is it, going up a little bit, but not too much? And maybe over time when the organic rank takes over, it actually drops. And then I'm looking at my profit. Maybe I was doing $2,000 profit a week, and now I'm down to 1,000, but it's okay. It's bearable because I'm investing that $1,000 like loss in profit for higher sales revenue. And then I'm moving into an optimization phase where, the few weeks after that, I'm cutting down all of the ad spend that didn't work. So adding negatives for keywords that spent money not making sales, super high ACoS keywords, lowering bids for keywords that didn't work out, which is basically, spent money, didn't make any sales, or if it's an auto broader phrase, things like that. And when I take those actions, I drop the inefficient spend, I keep the good spend. Hopefully, the sales don't drop too much because we only lost sales from things that were bleeding us. And now we're left with a better conversion rate right here because, we're sending cleaner traffic and a much higher dollar amount in profit. And so if I started here with $1,000 a week in profit, or $2,000 a week in profit, went down during the scale phase, and now optimized till I went up, I should be looking to be back at like $3,000 a week in profit. And so that's how my cycles work. And, $3,000 a week in profit is like from going from 2,000 to 3,000, it's not going to be very quickly. It's going to take a little bit of time, maybe a couple of weeks of optimization, but then you're going to notice this inflection point where you reach a max amount of profit. And then if you optimize any further, your sales start dropping and you start losing profit again. So just beware, be careful of that. Okay. Any questions so far, Jamie? Should I keep,
Yeah, I think we're still, I guess, one question is around, Morad asks, yep,
yeah.
go ahead.
How do you launch strategize items that are more expensive than the average competition, or is that too loaded of a question? Okay, how do you launch or strategize for items that are more expensive than the competition? This is a tough one, and the reason it's a tough one is your product going to convert? Because Amazon is a very it's a price place. Like, people go to get the best deal. So is there a clear differentiation for your product where I can go and say, my product versus, the other competitors, mine has a much better advantage, bigger advantage, that it's worth spending the extra money. So when it's a more expensive product, I think the strategy is you have to figure out which keywords you can convert on. So it's going to be a lot more testing. You're going to have to be a little bit more aggressive because, you have more room in your budget, but you also need to rank higher. And then finally, you're going to probably go after a lot more product targeting campaigns versus keyword targeting campaigns, so that it's a very easy comparison every time. And if someone clicks on you, when they're inside of someone's product detail page, it's more buyer intent than if they clicked on you in a search term. A lot of times you also can't be very high on the top of page one, because you're going to get a lot of people that are not really willing to buy you because you're more expensive. But again, the biggest, I think, factor is going to be your conversion rate. Can you survive with your conversion rate? And if the answer is no, there's not much. PPC just brings people to your listing. That's all it does. It just says, hey, here's my product. You're looking for electrolyte powder. Here's mine. Here's my version of it. That's all PPC really can do. And so if your listing doesn't explain enough why you should buy that product, there's not much you can do there. So hopefully that answers it. Okay, so we've gone through the analytics. I'm not going to go through the situational analysis because I kind of explained to you the scaling and optimizing phase. But if we look at it like very, very, very briefly, you can see here PPC spend went up, sessions went up, conversion rate improved as well, and then sales went up significantly. Profit went down, so went from 3,000 to 918. That's a very typical scaling. We were increasing revenue a lot, profit is going down, but two things are going to happen. Number one, we're going to identify all of the good keywords that came out of the scaling phase. And number two, if we hold that scale for a while, organic rank is going to go up, which is going to generate free traffic. Situation number two, you can see here, ad spend is, pretty much the same, only 10%. Sessions go up significantly, conversion rate drops. So in this case, when you notice that PPC spend hasn't changed much, but your sessions went up a lot, that's probably an improvement in organic rank. Conversion rate went down, and total sales went up. So even though conversion rate went down, we still see the total sales improved and profits went up, because at the same PPC spend, total sales went up, profit went up. So that's kind of an improvement in our organic rank, situation. And then we have this situation where we increase, PPC spend, sessions go up by a tiny amount, almost the same, nothing changes. Conversion rate improves, and then we see total sales also improve. Profits are, again, pretty much the same, because we had a very slight improvement in the unit session percentage, but we did have a big amount of growth in the spend. So from 296 to 555. So these are some ways that you can interpret your analytics, and I highly suggest you guys get the template and fill it out and see what's happening and where the trend is with your PPC. I honestly can't even diagnose what's going on in an account without looking at a sheet like that. So mechanics of the PPC of different pieces of PPC. There's the discovery phase. So whenever we're starting or launching a new product, we're discovering new keywords, launching new campaigns, increasing bids and budgets. And when we're a scaling phase, again, it's also a discovery phase where we're trying to identify new and profitable search terms that we can spend money on so they can generate us sales. And then the performance or optimization phase, you are going to, lower bids for things that didn't work, add negatives, improve ad efficiency, like you see here. And I'll tell you like the exact technical things that you need to do. If you did a bid by placement, lower it. If you have sponsored brand, test lowering that. All of those actions that are going to eliminate any unnecessary spend. So the main kind of things that we can do here is a bulk sheet optimization, which is a bid optimization. Campaign budget optimization, so increasing the budgets when you're trying to scale. Placement optimization, so this is based on the placement report. When you see that your campaigns are performing in certain placements better than others, taking action there. And then search term report. So these are kind of the main levers that you can pull. There's a certain segment of them that is for scaling and a certain segment for them that is optimizing. So let's talk about the different pieces. So in the bulk sheet, or let's talk about scaling, and I'll run through each piece when we're scaling. So when we're scaling, we want to increase bids for keywords that are generating sales profitably. So if the ACOS, you go into the bulk sheet, you find all the keywords. The ACOS is between 0 to like 30% or 0 to 20%, you increase the bids slowly. Just a little bit to get it more visibility for keywords that we've seen, convert profitably. Let's get, more visibility there and potentially more sales. Sorry. One second, I'm gonna get some water. I'm talking a lot.
Yeah, no problem, Mina. No problem. Yeah, what's cool, again, he says, Mina is going to provide, I think, opportunity to get some of the templates to be able to leverage these and help you guys out there as well too. So,
All right.
Yep.
We're good. We're good again. I've been talking all day. So, yeah, when we're scaling, we can look at all of the keywords that have low impressions. So let's say anything under 300 impressions or less, you can increase the bids there because that just means that they're not getting enough visibility and there's the low likelihood of them, converting. So we want to increase the bids there. That's all we do in terms of bids when we're scaling. In the search term report, we're going into the search term report, looking for all of the campaigns that are auto broad and phrase, where there are keywords to be discovered, because maybe I launched a campaign that has unflavored electrolyte as a keyword, and then unflavored electrolyte powder, unflavored electrolyte supplement, and all these different variations showed up as profitable search terms. So I'm going in there, extracting all of the profitable search terms. So any keyword between 1 to 20% that is unique, I'm not already targeting it, in a certain match type, and then launching it. The key thing here to keep in mind is, if you have something running in broad, on exact or whatever, they're completely different. So you can have the same keyword running in different match types. They're going to behave completely differently. It could perform 10 times better in the phrase than it does in the exact or broad. So don't think that when a keyword performs well in broad, you move it to exact. When a keyword performs well anywhere, you launch it in all match types, because it's going to generate different performances. It could perform better here, worse there. So you want to test everything. And again, make sure that it's unique. You don't want to have any duplicates, and never negative anything that's working, because I've done that many times in the past where I find a keyword that's working, I negative it in one campaign, and then I launch it, in a different campaign, and it does not perform. And now I hurt myself because I spent money here, didn't make sales, and I cut off my sales that were coming from that keyword. The final thing is, are the keywords going to compete in different match types? So if I do electrolyte powder, broad phrase, and exact, will they compete? The answer is, I really don't think so. If we look at it, in exact, you're getting a certain number of impressions a day. And then in broad, you're getting a certain number of impressions for like 50 different keywords. And then for phrase, it's like for 20 different keywords. So what are the odds that these impressions are going to overlap at the same times in the day and like compete? It's going to be very, very little, because Amazon is like running and cycling through these different keywords and giving them different impressions different times of the day. So if you get, on a 500 impressions on a certain keyword in broad, in one day, that could be like less than 10 an hour, something, or maybe 20 an hour, right? Like if you're getting 500 impressions. So it's showing to 20 people in 1 hour, which is like a tiny amount. So what are the odds that the exact is also going to be bidding at the same time, as those keywords? So it's not really likely. I don't think competition happens, and I don't think you should worry about it. But it will happen if you have duplicates. And if you have duplicates, basically what I've seen is Amazon will send money to the highest bid campaign. And so if you have a better performing campaign with a lot of history and you launch a new one that's a duplicate, you might hurt the performance of the one that's doing well. Next is the placement report. So when we're scaling, with the placement report, I'm identifying where I perform better at the top of search or product detail pages than in the rest of the search, and I'm increasing the bid by placement there. So what I'm doing is I'm going in and I'm saying, okay, based on the data, where am I performing better? Where do I have a better click-through rate? Where do I have a better ROAS in top of search, for example, than in the other placements in rest of search? And if I find, for these certain campaigns, I have a better ROAS, better click-through rate at top of search, what I'm going to do is increase the bid by placement by 20%, meaning that I'm willing to spend 20% more than my current bid, if and only if I show up in the top of the search first page, because based on the data, I'm seeing that it performs better. And so that's, a third scaling activity that I'm doing. And then the final one is increasing budgets. when I'm scaling any campaign that has good, ROAS, I'm going to increase the budget, even if I'm not hitting that daily budget spend. Giving it more room to breathe has a lot of times shown me that we perform a lot better. So that's on the scaling side. So remember, right here, increasing bids. Right here, increasing bids and for keywords that are doing well or low impression. Here, extracting profitable search terms, launching in their own campaigns. Here, increasing bid by placement for top of search or product pages where it performed better. And here, increasing budgets. Now, when I'm doing the optimizing actions, which is the cutting down spend, trying to maintain sales as much as possible, I'm lowering the bids for any keywords that spent money and didn't make sales. So anything that spent, like I have a $30 product. So anything that spent $15 and didn't make any sales, I'm lowering the bids, because if it spent 16 or 17, that's already over a 55% ACOS. So it's no longer that profitable for me. So anything above $15 and no sales, lower the bids. Anything above, let's say, an 80% ACOS, lower the bids. The way I want you guys to look at ACOS is, think of ACOS as, like, in reality, it's going to be half that. So if you see a keyword with 60% ACOS, in reality, it's like a 30% ACOS, because there's a good chance that it's driving a certain number of organic traffic. And so try and optimize only things where, like, if you have like a 40% profit margin, above 2 times that, so 80%. So if you are looking at, like, okay, what keywords, which ACOS should I optimize, 80% or more, then I would lower the bids. I think we cover here how to optimize the bids. No, we don't. Okay. So I'll cover that. Basically, the way that I like to optimize bids is I'll inch them slowly, and usually between 5 to 10 cent increments. So very small amounts, and I'll lower the bids very slowly, and I'd rather do them more frequently and slowly, so I can see my ad spend going down without my total sales dropping. But if I do a big drop, let's say a 30-cent drop or 25% cut or whatever, I could notice that position of the keyword drops too much, and now it's no longer generating any sales. So maybe it was doing 95% ACOS, now it's just 0, it's dead. So that's what I'm doing in terms of the bulk sheet. In terms of the search term report, I'm identifying all non-profitable search terms. So spending $15 or more with no sales, or over 80% ACOS, taking those keywords and adding them as negative exact in the campaigns. And then I'm looking for any irrelevant search terms as well in auto broaden phrase, add them as negatives. If they don't belong there, Amazon makes mistakes sometimes. Now, in the placement report, the only thing I'm doing is the reverse of what I did initially. So if I increase the bid by placement because performance was really good for a certain campaign, and now that same placement, the performance is not so good, I'm going to bring that back down. And then budgets, I don't touch budgets when I'm optimizing. I'll never lower the budgets, because I don't think budgets is a good place to lower bids. It's just not the right place for lowering bids, or optimizing or lowering spend. So I covered pretty much all of this already. Make sure you're tracking week over week and seeing, are things getting better or getting worse? Like in this case, we cut down the ad spend, sales stayed the same, profit went up. This is how we can immediately tell, are we doing things right or wrong? And you can see very, very easily, right, guys? I explained to you what's happening in 2 seconds. We didn't have to go through 6 hours of breaking down Campaign Manager. It's very, very simple. My PPC spend went down. How are my sales? The same. My sessions, they're actually improving. Probably I'm getting a boost in organic rank. My conversion rate went down a bit. That's totally fine. Profit is up. So now it's like, okay, Mina, put some energy and effort into, why on 1014, 1015 did your, conversion rate drop so much? Let's improve the conversion rate. Everything here looks good. Now I have $2,000 more to invest into scaling, and hopefully with that 2,000, go from 11,000 to $20,000 in sales. I'll lose some profit, but then I'll optimize again and get to a higher level of profit. Next, okay, so let's take a quick check here into.
You saw a couple of questions too from Hardeep there, one of our veterans from the community. I don't know if you saw those.
Yeah.
But I'll let you take a look at them if it's a good time now, or if you want to cover
it.
it.
Let's cover that. So Hardeep says, Mina, how are you implementing search query performance or report, I guess, in a practical manner for optimization? What are you doing with KSC? I don't know what KSC is top of search placements. If ACOS is much higher there versus the rest of the search. If ACOS is higher at the top of the search, I'm not increasing. I'm not doing anything. I'm just leaving it. And so single keyword campaigns. Yeah, single keyword or any sort of keyword campaigns is it's the same thing. If the ACOS is high at top of search, I'm not gonna do a bid by placement. And if I notice that I have a good amount of top of search impression share, like over 5%, I'm gonna lower the bids. So I just stop showing there, because a lot of times, for some products, supplements definitely, people who are clicking on the top of the search are window shoppers. So they're not even serious about buying the product. So why continuously pay money for people who are just gonna click and not buy, when you could be in the middle or bottom of page 1, and then notice that the people who actually make it and click on you are a lot higher likely to convert. Now, how am I implementing search query performance report in a practical manner? The way that I like to do this is I'll open up the search query performance report and I identify where I have a high like conversion share and a low impression share. If I have a high, so look at it as a funnel. You have impression share, click share, add to cart share, conversion share. If this bottom is bigger and the top is thinner, so if I find keywords that have high search volume, that have low impression share and high conversion share, that means that it's opportunity for me to scale that keyword. So I'll take that keyword and I'll do a single keyword campaign if I don't already have, or increase bids, increase budgets, do an organic ranking campaign, and try and increase my impression share for that keyword, because I know that I have a good buy share. So that out of the amount of people that come into the listing from that keyword, a lot of them will buy. So that's number one. And then number two, it's also the reverse. If I see that I have a high impression share for a certain keyword and a low buy share, this is not a PPC thing, but it's more of a listing thing, where I'll go and I'll take that keyword and maybe showcase it in an image. So what is that keyword? It's sugar free. Okay, maybe people don't realize that I am sugar free enough. So I get a large impression share, small conversion share. Let me put sugar free clearly in a picture in the second image. See what happens there. So that's how I'm actionably implementing. Okay. Now, how often are you doing changes in bids of 5 to 10% once a week? So I don't do it by percentages. Remember, I do 5 to 10 cents. So small increments. And honestly, it's as often as I need to. So sometimes it's 3 times a week, sometimes it's 5 times a week, but I just want to inch the movements so that, especially if I'm trying to scale, I'll increase the bids slowly over time, so I can hit, like, it's a little bit more refined than do a big increase and then see a shoot in traffic, or lower the bids slowly, 3 or 4 times a week, so I can notice that my spending is going down, my sales are staying the same, things are good, not cut down the spend hard, total sales tank. Cool. So let's run through, how many minutes do I have here? I'm almost done. I'm gonna run through this last part pretty quickly. This is tracking organic rank. So this is the fun. Now we're getting to the fun stuff, which is how do I use PPC to improve organic rank. So first of all, there's 2 options in identifying which keywords you want to rank for. First one could be actually the search query performance report. So you can go there and find the ones that you have a small impression share, large conversion share, try those ones. Or I like to go to Helium 10 or Data Dive. So if I'm using Data Dive, I'm putting my product versus all of my competition and seeing which keywords is there a high search volume, a lot of relevancy, and I have low organic rank compared to my competitors. I like to hit something in the 60 to 80 range, because I know if I can bring it from 60 to 80 to 20, I'm going to notice a big improvement, in the sales. So I'm looking for those big needle movers. Or the Helium 10 way, which is type in a main keyword on Amazon, go find the top competitors, run them through Cerebro, sort by search volume, add some additional filters, which is I want it to be at least 350 searches a month or more. So it's actually like a decent search volume keyword. Minimum of like 9 or 8 or 7 ranking competitors, which means, if it's 9 ranking competitors, it means all 10 of the products that I chose, all of them rank for that keyword. If it's a keyword that's ranked for some and not others, I don't want to look at it. Sometimes that can constrain you if you go too high of a number, so you can always taper that down. And then position rank 61. So, for this is basically, I don't want keywords that my competitors aren't ranking that high for. Select the keywords to track. So once I have that refined list, you can see here it went from like 74,000 74,000 keywords to 50 keywords. Those are the high super relevant search volume keywords, high search volume super relevant keywords that I want to track. So I'm going to take those, track them, track my organic rank, identify which ones, again, I'm in that 60 to 80 position, and whatever also I find on Data Dive, I'm going to add it here because I need to be tracking what my rank is now over time. And then benchmarking it. So week over week, I want to see how things have been changing. And I want to see that, like, we started at, like, let's say position 64 and we ended up at position 11. That's kind of what I'm going for. Now I have a better tracking sheet that I can share with you guys later if you want to, but it also tracks spending on each of those keywords. But this is the goal, right? It's you start somewhere like low, you end up pretty high. How do I achieve this? Okay, no, we can skip this. Okay, so how do I achieve this? Single keyword campaigns. One campaign, one ad group, one keyword, that organic keyword that I want to rank for. Big bids and big budgets. So at least $300 a day as a budget. You don't have to spend it all, but a big budget. Big bids. So whatever the bid range is, I like to be in the 75+% of that range. Top of the range, if that's even more preferred. And then I'll track my spend, and I should notice that I'm spending more and more money over time, and I'll track my organic rank. And there's going to be a little bit of a delay, but you should see as you increase your spend on a certain keywords, your organic rank improves over time. So that's pretty much how I use PPC to improve my organic ranking. And then for everyone here, if you guys want me to audit your accounts, tell you, all of the things that I'm noticing as issues and how to improve them, and, give you actionable stuff, the team will do this. But, scan this QR code to get a free audit, or send me an email, or go to the website. But yeah, that's it. Let's do questions.
Yeah, very cool. So I see Emmy, I think has a question. It says, so do you keep changing the keyword from the same listing, or you post a new listing for the same product?
Okay, so I don't fully understand the question. But yeah, I mean, we'll like, if we're talking about the image, like I'll improve an image, or I'll add the keyword to the title or the bullet points or something, but ask the question a different way, because I don't think I understand your question. Hardeep says, how many keywords are you tracking like this? It seems not very manageable to track organic rank using DD for hundreds of keywords. I usually do maximum of 2, because you should not be doing, if you do more than 2 or 3 or whatever, you're going to notice that, okay, like, did this keyword, or was it this keyword that resulted in the improvement in sales? So try and look at things as a scientist, and you're changing one variable at a time, and it's a controlled experiment. So in this case, I'm tracking the dates, like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, November 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, the spend for keyword 1 and the organic rank for keyword 1. And sometimes I'll also add the sponsored rank for keyword 1, and then spend for keyword 2, organic rank and sponsored rank for keyword 2. And I'm tracking those over time. And I'm noticing that as I increase my, it doesn't matter. They're not hero keywords. They're the keywords that I chose. So if I want to rank, if I go in, right, let's go here. If I go in and I identify this one, right? Let's say this one, for example, 45, or let's do this one, 43, 4,000 searches, keto electrolytes powder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take keto electrolytes powder and another keto powder keyword or keto electrolytes keyword, because, you know, they're going to help each other. They're going to synergize. I'm going to take those two keywords, single keyword campaign, increase bids, increase budgets, spend a lot of money on them and track them. And I'm going after just those keywords. Now, when my keyword in keyword tracker rank goes up, and now it's like position 10, whatever, 12, 15, it's a good position. I'm gonna say, okay, I'm done with this. I'm gonna taper down the ad spend. And as I taper it down, I'm monitoring my organic rank. I'm making sure that it doesn't tank. If it tanks, then it's like, okay, do I keep spending and maintain it there, or is it not even worth it? And so that's kind of what I'm doing here. You know, it's I'm choosing different keywords. I'll do this for a month, and then I'll choose a different 2 keywords for another month. And I like to choose roots. So roots, they all work together, you know, they help each other. So if I'm doing keto electrolytes, I'm going to find 3 or 4 different keywords that have the word keto electrolytes in them, or keto electrolyte powder, keto electrolyte supplement, things like that, because all of those will help each other. Or at least that's what I'm seeing. Oh, we're not here. We need to go here. Perfect. Okay, so the root keyword and long tail keyword together. Got it. There we go. Cool, guys. I think that's it for me. Do we have any questions?
That was good. You put up your QR code, of course, up there. You may want to flip it back up, but I know that was super cool.
Where did
Hardeep wants to know more about your Trivium Slack service.
What is it? What's the question? I have to.
Can you share more about your Trivium Slack service?
Sorry, guys, I'm having trouble here. Okay. Oh, Trivium. Okay, so yeah, we have you know, a few different things. So, you know, a few different levels of PPC management that we do. We have the regular full you know, account management, for full PPC management, where it's a team of 5 people that will be dedicated on your account. There's going to be you know, a brand manager, an advertising strategist, and, you know, a senior advertising person, operations person, and an analyst, all working together to run your PPC. So they'll basically like learn your brand better than you know your brand, and they work as a partial team. They run everything on the ads. So I'll tell you guys the prices, obviously, because I know that matters. It's $2,000 plus $200 per parent ASIN per month. So if you have like 2 products, it's $2,400 a month. Then we have the Trivium Startup, which is for people who have like one brand, one product. They just started. They don't need the full firepower of the team. And that's $1,200 a month. You still get a brand manager, an analyst, and a strategist, but the communication frequency is only Monday and Thursday. It's less communication, which, you know, saves time, but it also saves on the cost. Then we have our Slack consulting group, which is Trivium Tribe. It's called Trivium Tribe, where it's me, my team, our consultants, all of our templates and videos and training videos, SOPs, everything internal for the company is there. And you can join and basically learn and ask any question you need, get it answered right away. And that's like $200 a month. And then the final thing is we have this analytics template. I'm going to share it here so you guys can have it. But what I'm also going to do is I'll show you. Sorry, I don't know why it's acting weird. Okay, close this in the chat. All right, so this is the analytics template, and if you want it automated, just let me know. I can connect you guys. It's if you get it through us, it's only 60. If you get it through us, it's only $60 a month to get it automated. So you can either fill it out yourself, which I did this for a very long time with multiple clients, and I just had a VA full-time doing it. But my real profit is like the software that you know is we use. It's our custom basically like it's our custom dashboards there. And then, yeah, like this is, oh, not inventory one, performance. This is what it looks like. So it's fully automated. And then you can see all of the weeks and you can run through it here. Obviously, there's a certain date range. It also has profit calculations. So you can see every day, each one of your products, what the profit is. So sales, units, discounts, coupons, fees, referral fee, advertising spend, refunds, everything. We also have a dashboard. Again, this is all like our agency stuff, like my dashboards and stuff, and we just roll it out to everyone. So we're just kind of like, you know, whoever wants to use our stuff, I'm happy to share it because I know it helps people. But we track like sales over time, you know, daily, weekly, monthly. And as you can see here, this is a very seasonal product. We also track profit, you know, so profit, you know, monthly over time, and then spend, sales, and profit together as like you know, a comparison. And then we have KPIs that we track. So conversion rate over time, which is, I think for me, very important. How is the conversion rate over time? Is it declining or improving? Click-through rate, ROAS over time, and then cost per session and cost per click. So as you can see here, you know, this is the cost per session and cost per click, and we don't want to see the cost per session going up over time. So this is kind of like you know, the dashboard that we use. I found it to be like really effective. It's, you know, pretty cheap, $60 a month. And I think, you know, kind of from the all weeks, or at least even from the like, you know, weekly reporting, very, very easily I can be like, okay, what's happening week over week? We cut down the ad spend. We noticed that total sales went down. We noticed that, you know, sessions went down. Conversion rate is about the same. You know, profits went down. And so we can very, very quickly and easily identify what's going on, and we can troubleshoot issues. And so we also have break-even conversion rate, which is a really nice metric that I added recently. And basically you can see here, what is the conversion rate that you need to be based on your cost of traffic for you to, you know, break even. So in this case, it's 2.25. You know, we can go like, let's do another one, right, where it's more relevant. Let's see. All right. So here, like, you can see break-even conversion rates 8%. We're only at a 14%. So you can see very, very high break-even conversion rate. So we need to be operating at like a 20% plus if we want to be a little bit more comfortable in the profits. You can see the profit dollar amount here is not that high. We only have a maximum of $5.79 profit per unit. And so our cost of acquisition, even being low, is still not making us enough money. So this person probably needs to inch their product price over time, maybe $3, $4, $5, to get to a point where we're like, okay, now we're making, you know, good money for each sale. We're, you know, we have a $10, you know, profit per unit, $3 cost of acquisition. We're making $7 on each sale. That makes more sense. So this is why I love this template. So yeah, if you guys want it, let me know. Happy to connect you guys. Let's see. Do we have any other questions? Okay. Seems like we're good, Jamie.
Yeah, this was really great. So you guys, for everyone in our membership area, again, this will be the recording and training. We'll have it in there. And yeah, Hardeep says, thanks, Mina. Again, he's got his QR code, his email. If for any reason you guys want to capture those, of course, you can reach out to myself, Joey, Matt, and Voxer to always get any other help to connect with these guys. But yeah, really cool stuff, Mina. I really find it interesting. I love some of the metrics as well too. Kimberly says, can we get the link to the template?
Yeah, it's in the chat.
Yes, that's, you put it right above that, right? Yeah. That's the Google Doc above there. Awesome. Well, cool, guys. Let me know in the chat if you guys found this helpful here. And, you know, we will, and again, we may have Mina do, you may have him come back before too long anyways, too, because we talked to myself, Joey. We've been talking with Mina too, just around, maybe doing some more collaborations and insight. Again, once you have a good product, PPC and driving traffic is really what it's all about. And of course, managing your business, but, and it's always a bit of an art and a science in terms of how you go about it. So, Mina, I thought that was awesome, man. Yeah. Juan says, thank you. Yes. Awesome. All right, cool. Good stuff, Juan. Yeah, Mina. And, on the side note, how long were you in Dubai for?
3 weeks. This time was 3 weeks.
Did you get engaged over there too?
I got engaged. Yeah, I got engaged over there. It was a mix of like things. I went there, did my company offsite. So I flew in my employees from all over the world, like just leadership. So 3 people, brought them in. We did an offsite there. And then, got engaged to Brandy, and then we took a week vacation.
I mean, I leave you for like 1 week. All of a sudden, next thing, all hell breaks loose, man.
Yeah,
what's going
on? Can't leave me alone for too long, man.
That's good. But in all seriousness, guys, too, make sure follow Mina on Instagram and social. He's got really good content he puts out there. I don't know, maybe, Mina, put your Instagram in there. That's probably I think the best way. I know he's on LinkedIn and some other spots, Facebook, but you've got some really good content. I think some of the videos and stuff. So I recommend everyone do that as well too. So, Mina, definitely appreciate it. I know Joey just made it back home from the airport too, and Matt is Atkins, who is one of our coaches here and does a lot in the PPC industry as well too. We're pumped to have you on here tonight. Really appreciate it. Hope I know you guys got a lot of value. All you guys here, and I know some people are watching on some other platforms as well too. So definitely take advantage, reach out to Mina. And again, hopefully we'll get you back in here probably maybe early next year or something. Yeah. Matt says, thanks, Mina, as well too. So awesome. And then Mina, are you going to any holiday parties or anything, or what's your schedule for the rest of the year?
There's a Los Angeles one, Titan one, I believe. So I'm going to go to that one. That's the only thing I'm doing up until Prosper. Yes.
Okay. I know you said you're going to be heads down, building on, growing the business and all your master plan.
Exactly. Head down, focusing on all the little systems, also relaxing a little bit from all the crazy amount of travel.
I know it's been a lot.
I'm getting a lot more, like my fitness is improving. I'm training 10 times more. So a lot of pros to, not traveling that much.
I know. I'm with you. I've done a little bit better this year with travels. I've been hitting like, partly Joey's good about it too, with the fitness we usually do at least a cycle class or 2 on our different events we've been to, but it's hard to keep the same routine. Sylvia just asked about Walmart.com. I guess the question is whether you do anything on the Walmart platform or not.
Yeah. I don't do any Walmart. We're just Amazon PPC. Just trying to be the best in the world at one thing.
Yep. Good stuff. All right. We'll let you go. Thanks everyone. And thanks a lot, Mina. That was awesome.
Thank you guys for having me, and talk to you guys soon.